I speak to you in the name of the one holy and living God. Well, perhaps you or someone you know has had the experience of being recruited for a job. You know, flown to a new city, a car waiting for you at the airport, sweeping you away to lovely accommodations where flowers and wine await you, and a meticulously assembled portfolio informs you of the benefits of accepting this position, complete with amazing photographs, testimonials, financial reports, and a very detailed schedule for how you will spend the next 24 hours. You know what's coming. Well, apparently Jesus failed to read the new employee's recruitment manual. I mean, he missed the boat on this one. Now, I want to take you to one chapter before today's gospel text in Luke. You might recall that after doing an exorcism on the Sabbath, Jesus enters Simon's house and heals Simon's mother-in-law of a high fever, and immediately she gets up and begins to serve Jesus. No flowers, no wine, no detailed job description. Simon's mother-in-law begins the work of serving Jesus as a visceral response to his healing presence. So moving on to today's gospel text, can you feel Simon's shoulders just sagging after a fruitless night of fishing? You see his fingers fumbling with those empty fishing nets? Can you feel dread grabbing his gut as he notices Jesus walking toward him? Can you hear his heart murmur? Oh no, Jesus, why are you stepping into my boat? I have tried every fishing trick I know, and still my nets are empty. I have nothing. I have nothing to offer you. But Jesus asks Simon to put out just a little bit from the shore so that he can teach the crowds of people whose curiosity about this irreverent rebel and his exorcisms and his healings, bring them to the shore at the edge of Lake Gennesaret. And now, adrift on that lake, I imagine Jesus' presence just soothing tired Simon, kind of lulled into sitting next to this teacher until Jesus turns to Simon and says, let's move into that deep water and cast out your nets. I mean, can you just imagine? Simon must have rolled his eyes and said, are you kidding me? I resist this. Do you not understand? James and John and I have spent the entire night fishing. Not one fish. We have plumbed the depths of the best fishing hauls. Still, our nets are empty. What is the use of this, Jesus? But Jesus is sure and sanguine, and so Simon reluctantly rows out to the deep water and lets down his nets. And then, wonder upon wonders, so many fish find Simon's net that he has to call James and John to help him haul it to the shore. Amazed by this eye-opening bounty, Simon sees Jesus with new eyes. He recognizes Jesus as his superior or benefactor, and he falls to his knees. And with Simon's nets now full, Jesus wastes no time recruiting him and his partners, James and John, to their new job, fishing for people. No flowers, no wine, just a rather obtuse job description. By the way, from now on, you will be catching people. And immediately the three men leave everything and follow Jesus. Well, I don't know about you, but every time this particular parable comes up in the lectionary, I scratch my head and say, really? What does this have to say to me? And what in the world can I say about it to these people? And so, scratching my head all week, I wondered, and it occurred to me that perhaps we are much like Simon and James and John and the crowds of people at the edge of the lake, content to remain on the sidelines of faith and listen to Jesus preach at a distance. But you see, preaching to an intractable crowd is not enough for Jesus. Jesus wants us to get our feet wet, walking into deep water. And what does he mean? What do we mean by deep water? Deep water is a metaphor for growing into more intimate relationship with ourselves, with one another, and with God. And frankly, it is rather daunting. It is daunting because we don't actually know what it means. There's no real job description here. We have no idea where it will lead us. Jesus shows up in our text and in our lives, insisting that we wiggle our toes, step out of our comfortable ruts in those sinking sands at the shore, sit near him in his boat, venture into the deep, the uncharted water. Much like Simon, we doubt, we resist, because this is scary business. Deep water represents undifferentiated chaos and the source of life itself. I suspect that's why Jesus, instructs Simon and us, do not be afraid. Fishing in deep water, you will find new and abundant life. As we walk through Luke's parable this morning, we watch as Simon gradually evolves into deeper, more intimate relationship with Jesus. First, hearing about Jesus, and then seeing Jesus in the distance, then watching and experiencing Jesus moving closer, sitting near him in the boat, and silently being absorbed in his presence and words, then doubting, second-guessing, resisting. All of this before submitting to Jesus' invitation to venture into the deep water of intimate relationship. And this, my friends, is our journey. Step by step by step, moving closer and closer and closer into that deep, profound intimacy in our union and unity with God. Well, stunned, utterly stunned by the richness of relationship, Simon awakens to awe and to humility, even as we do. And what is the response? Go away from me, Jesus. This is too much. This is too big. I'm not worthy of all this. Until, fortified by Jesus' pronouncement, do not be afraid. From now on, you will be catching people. And hopefully we are as emboldened as Simon to leave the sidelines of faith, to get out of our comfortable ruts and wholeheartedly say, yes, yes, Walk away from being small and ineffectual, keeping God at a distance, and accept this mysterious job offer. No wine, no flowers, no meticulously assembled portfolio. I suspect a few of you are around in the early 1970s. Anybody here around in the 1970s? Just me? Yeah. Do you remember that hit song from the musical, the gospel, Godspell? It kind of swept the country. Well, the words of that song were inspired by a prayer written in the 13th century by a disenfranchised bishop, Richard of Chichester. And the words of the song, Day by Day, I believe offer us a very succinct roadmap for our walk with Simon in the deep waters of relationship with God. Now, I have a particular love for these words. Not only are they simple, so I can remember them, but they are the very prayer that my spiritual director gave to me and said, I want you to pray this every single day during this season. It was a couple of years with him. And it culminated in my discernment of my call to the priesthood. And the words are these: day by day, oh dear Lord, 3 things I pray. To see you more clearly, to love you more dearly, to follow you more nearly, day by day. Dear people of God, where do you find yourself in Luke's parable today? Are you fishing and pulling up empty nets? Are you standing on the sidelines, content to keep God at a safe distance? Or are you ready to accept your new job? No flowers, no wine, no detailed job description. Just the invitation to wade into unknown territory and risk everything, for the incomprehensible bounty of intimate relationship with yourself, with others, and with God, day by day. Amen.